Salutations, everyone. I'm the GoldFlower Reviewer, and welcome to 2026. I'm currently recording this on January 2nd. It's probably not going to be up until the 3rd, knowing me, but right now I'm going to be reacting to a video from SML Talks, which is titled Logan Will Finally Fix SML in 2026. Now, this, I believe, is talking about the New Year's video that came out yesterday, which is the one that's posted on the thumbnail. Video was kind of subpar, to be honest, but the big thing that I keep hearing about is apparently Joseph is no longer part of the Junior, Joseph, and Cody trio by the end of the video. And knowing Logan, I'm fairly certain that this will just be retconned out of existence by the next Junior video. But hopefully, Logan will actually do something interesting with this, but I have no hopes. But anyway, let's see what SML Talks has to say.
I was expecting the last SML video of the year to be another one that no one remembers, but Logan, for the first time in God knows how long, has finally created a bunch of material for the characters. If Joseph's not going to be friends with Junior anymore, then we can bring back that old dynamic where Junior and Joseph are always trying to get one up on each other, like Junior's iPhone or the Pokemon series.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, though. I think, damn, I never really realized this, actually. Junior and Joseph as, like Junior and Joseph's interactions over the last couple of years have been very, boring and lax. I never realized that. I feel like it's because after Red Shell Joseph left a bad taste in everyone's mouth about Joseph's character, I think it was the right decision to settle down for a little bit, but I feel like now that we're, approaching 5 years on the puppet switch, oh dear God, I'm old, I think it's finally time for the Junior and Joseph dynamic to restart again.
This can be the year of Joseph, where we focus on what his life would look like once leaving the Skeeter Boys. Maybe he becomes friends with Bully and PJ Crimshaw, and the relationship between him and Penelope will be more interesting than when she was with Junior.
Oh yeah, that Junior and fucking Penelope relationship was one of the most boring things I've ever seen out of an SML video. Arguably SML, period, to be honest. You know, and it's not even like, I don't even think it was because, Logan didn't do anything interesting with it. I feel like, he didn't, but I feel like it's more so because the concept by itself doesn't really make sense, but we'll get to that in a later video.
Like to actually get a healthy relationship in SML for a change, but also a funny one. Maybe Joseph steals whatever Penelope wants for her, and they enjoy the more natural way of living by sleeping outside together, with Joseph soon revealing that he's still rich, huh? Okay, let's not dream too hard.
If only. I think in hindsight, I don't hate Joseph the Millionaire's twist of Joseph secretly being rich. I think it definitely hinders some of his previous emotional moments from the series, like Joseph's mom and Joseph moves in and stuff like that. Joseph's house, of course. But, I think if we're doing the whole thing of, oh, puppet continuity is technically different, I wouldn't mind it.
But yeah, this relationship has a chance to be quite entertaining, especially with Junior maybe motivated to fix his own life now that his best friend has betrayed him and that he turns 18 this year. Junior and Cody hanging out with someone new would spice things up too, but they would have to be as colorful as a character as Junior and Cody are. Would Harry be that? Probably.
Hell no. I don't even think the Harry puppet still exists. Didn't they blow that shit up or something? Was that the one that, I don't remember. I think they destroyed it at some point, but nah. I said in my COVID SML short that Harry isn't my least favorite character in the world. I think he overall is I think he gets more hate than he deserves. Obviously, people don't like him because he was the stand-in for Cody for a little bit, and he wasn't nearly as interesting as Cody was. But I also feel like they don't see Harry as his own character because of that, and I think by himself, Harry's a slightly above average character, so I wouldn't mind seeing him again.
Not. And yes, guys, they found the Harry puppet a few months ago, maybe even a few weeks ago in a TikTok, so they can bring him back if they wanted to. Anyways, this one video has put SML in the greatest position they have been in a while, and I'd be very disappointed if Joseph and Penelope were only dating for 1 or 2 videos, or Logan just completely forgot that this video existed and things go back to normal, and what the fuck? Please, Logan, do not. Junior literally said himself the next time we see them on the red couch, Joseph will not be on it and it will be a new friend instead. So I trust that Logan was hinting that things are going to change from now on.
Well, this is the same man that said that Jeffy was going to be a good boy after Jeffy's parents, and we know how that happened.
Don't go back on your words, Logan, please. Not that you haven't done that before. Anyways, I love different characters talk, and I always wondered what Penelope and Joseph really thought about each other, and now we hopefully will find that out. And I want to see more characters talking too. Junior and Rose, Marvin and Cody, whatever it may be. Like I said, I want more videos with the 6 or 7 main characters in it. Not only that, but also build the relationships we already have in SML, like Marvin and Rose, Rose and Jeffy. I'm sick of Rose losing her identity years ago with not being Rosalina anymore, and Logan has still not tried to give her character.
It's because Logan doesn't do characters like that. I heard, this is a really weird thing to kind of circle back on, but it's kind of relevant. I heard, like, early 2010s, didn't, like, Nintendo said some bullshit about how, like, Mario games didn't need to have good stories or good character writing. I feel like that's what Logan did after, the Puppet Switch. Hell, even before that, to be honest. I think after Jeffy became a... I just registered that Jeffy's almost 10 years old. Shit. Damn, January 24th is a 10-year... I might have to make a video about Jeffy at some point this month. Anyway, it's because I think Logan is too scared to do, like, interesting characters. Not saying that Logan's characters weren't inherently interesting before. Because I don't think, like, I love the classic era, but the classic era characters like Shrek, Woody, Black Yoshi, etc., they weren't very developed. They were just very funny. And I think that's really all that mattered, because SML characters, even back then, you didn't need like a super complex personality or like very deep, intriguing dialogue. You really just had to be funny and contribute to the plot in some way. And that's most of the old characters did that. But I think nowadays people's standards of plush tubing have just gone up in recent years because of people like Richie, Chaos Emerald Star, Crazy, and Logan at this point feels oddly behind in the spectrum of plush tubers. Not that he really classifies as one anyway, considering I don't even think he uses a single plush in his videos anymore. But I don't know, this is more of a problem of Logan's refusal to do anything different and just stick with the status quo. Because I feel like if Logan branched out even a little bit, it would make a massive difference in the way that videos are seen. Because the modern SML audience isn't super picky or super nitpicky about like videos or whatever. In fact, I do remember this one thing from, I think this was like a COVID, I know I'm ranting, I'm turning a 3-minute video into a fucking 10-minute reaction, but I remember this one thing from a, I think it was a COVID era behind the scenes on Lance's channel, where Lance suggests, like, Lance and Logan were talking about something about how Logan was, like, super tired or whatever. It was COVID 2020, you know, it makes sense. And Logan said, well, I can't miss a video because then the fans will get mad. And to me, that always stuck out because, like, I'm not saying it's Logan's fault to think this way, because I do admit for a couple of years there, like, during the height of the Jeffy era, when Logan would mess up, the fans would get irrationally angry. And I think that kind of messed with, like, his mentality when it comes to YouTube. But now, I mean, look, the people who still watch SML are grown up and mature enough to understand if Logan needs to take a break. Doubly so if Logan wants to do, like, a risk and try and do something more interesting and a little out there with the videos. And by out there, I don't mean, like, adult humor. He's been doing that for over 10 years, but you know what I mean.
More of a spark since. Anyways, I want to quickly talk about how 2020-25 has been for SML. And yeah, we all know that this has been the worst year in SML history. I mean, all this stuff you see on screen now.
Worst year in SML history. I don't know about that. I haven't really picked up 2025 videos that much, surprisingly. Besides Jeffy's 21st birthday, which I did think was actually pretty good. I've watched like a handful of videos from this year because I don't watch modern SML like that. I went from like a diehard fan a couple of years ago to like one of the most extreme casuals when it comes to actually viewing the videos. But I don't think, I wouldn't know because I've watched very little of 2025 SML, but I don't know if it would be the worst year in SML history. I think that'd be kind of a hard thing to beat, considering you have like 2020. If we're talking about videos themselves, maybe, but in terms of impact, hell no. Because I think 2020, 2017, 2018, those are way worse years. Not for videos, but primarily for community response and impact on the channel's legacy. But this bingo card is actually hilarious. Lazy cast moments, we've seen plenty of those in recent years. Lots of filler, that's been a staple since like the early junior era. Predictable moments, another staple from eras past. Inconsistent lore, Logan never hasn't had lore in over 10 years. Joseph being useless has been a problem since a puppet switch. Repetitive jokes, this has been a problem since like honestly the beginning of the channel, to be dead ass. Random cuts, editing, I do that sometimes, editing issues or whatever, scenes not being necessary, that's not really an issue in my opinion. Rose being useless, she never was useful. Sponsorship, okay, no, sponsorships actually make me, it kind of, I know this is a problem from ages ago, because this started like a few years ago, I think, but I never understood why Logan needed sponsorships. Like, what could Logan possibly gain from a fucking Dragon City sponsor? You know, it's not like Logan's down bad for money or whatever. Considering the fact that he makes more than I think a good 80% of YouTubers, and that's like being very generous. Because how many subs this man has? This man has like over 6 million subs or something on the new channel. So he's easily, and he gets like several million views per video. So he's easily making like a couple $100,000 per month. So sponsorships to me are just very useless.
Has gotten way worse this year, and not to mention how cold Logan has been with us fans. With January obviously being the first month of 2026, and in that time period, Logan could make some of the worst SML videos ever. If he did do that, then that would definitely set up the rest of the year to be trash too. But Logan has a chance to change that and build something fresh here, because at the end of the day, you don't need money to improve characters, have funnier moments, and introduce new relationships to SML. Anyways, thank you everyone for 4,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd get this far with what was meant to be a channel just for fun, a side channel that wasn't meant to go anywhere, while my actual main channel was, which it didn't, but here we are. Me having thousands of people listening to me, or starting up a live stream at the worst time of the day and still managing to get 50 views is insane. So I appreciate all of you dearly. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, don't check out the Discord, and I also have a membership page now where you can get special
WSML Talks. Let's talk about that last bit for a little bit. I know this has been an exceedingly long video for a fucking 3.5 minute base video, but I love talking about SML, so it doesn't really matter. I think in terms of potential, this year is promising off of the new video, obviously the New Year's video, as well as just, but at the same time, I think 2025, while I wasn't very into the fan base or the videos at this point, I don't think it was exceedingly ass. I think it was more so boring. Because usually when there's a really bad year, I see a bunch of uproar, a bunch of outcry about how bad the videos are getting. I didn't really see that this year. Maybe I'm not into the community as much as I think I am, which is very possible. I'm not saying I am. But it's also, I think, because to me, boring years are worse than outright bad years. And that goes for any piece of media, to be honest. I'd rather take a bad thing than a boring thing, because at least with something that's outrageously ass, it's memorable in some way. And I think being memorable is, like, very, very important when it comes to pretty much anything. But being boring, you're not very memorable, you're just kind of there, nobody really cares about what you did or what the piece of media, whatever it may be. You know, I think that's worse, because it honestly makes you go down in the ranking, because like if you're really bad, for example, people are going to remember you for being bad, but if you're not memorable, no one's going to remember you at all. So you're going to go down in the ranking. If 2025 was one of those really, really boring years, like say 2023, 2018, something like that, then that's fine. I don't care. I think 2026 has the potential to be good, like he said. So me and SML Talks agree in that respect. But I also feel like this is January, as he mentioned, and January has a track record of being the low effort month. And I think, honestly, given the fact that Logan's quality has seemed to drop even further from the bottom line in recent years, I think this has the potential to be either one of the darkest years of SML in terms of just horrible, horrifically ass videos, or this could surprise us and be genuinely decent or even good. But with that said, I'm the GoldFlower Reviewer. Go subscribe to SML Talks, and I will see you all in the next video.